There we are, Ted's. Right, we're off. We're about to be off on our way across to Dieppe from Newhaven on the ferry, as is usually the case, and the girls are going to come and join us next week. I've got to be at Rochelle to pick up Archie on Sunday. It's Thursday lunchtime, so come along with us for the ride. Ready? We are back on our favourite coast road, the Brighton to Newhaven route that goes along the top of the cliffs. About 10 minutes away from Newhaven, just in heavy Thursday afternoon traffic, and we've got half an hour before we need to get to the port, so we're going to pull up alongside where the ship pulls in and hopefully see it come in. Let Ted have another run around for half an hour and then head on over to the port for our late afternoon crossing. Good morning. So first morning in France, Teddy and I arrived late last night on the 5:30 p.m. ferry. Got in at about 10 o'clock French time, and we've driven 20 minutes to a little park found on Park for Night, just down by some lakes, just really near Dieppe. Very, very peaceful. One other van. End of a lane, very low lying, with some fishing lakes just through the woods over here, and we're up early, going to start the journey south, probably do 2 hours and stop at Honfleur for breakfast, have a look around. It's been a while since I've been there, I'm sure it's going to be busy. Ted's had a very good night with me in the bed. It was a bit broken for me, but it's a lovely morning and we'll get on the road. Good morning, day 2 of 17 days away, and Teddy and I are in the van. We had our first night after coming off the ferry last night at around 9:30, 10 o'clock in a Park for Night just near Dieppe by some fishing lakes. It was all we needed. Perfect, short night, didn't sleep particularly well. Nice to have Teddy in the bed with me. Very, very peaceful, no disturbance. One other van there, already asleep. Didn't see them this morning. Had a quick walk around the lake this morning, and now we're on our way south, trying to get to the south of Brittany tonight. mouth of the Seine to Honfleur, where we're going to stop and have another walk and some breakfast, patisseries, etc. and a stroll round. It's actually a pretty spectacular structure. Driven over it several times, but it's always exciting. Isn't it, Ted's? Excited about the bridge! There we go, up and over. We're in southern Brittany this evening. Near Saint-Nazaire, and it's rather a pretty coastal resort around here. Very posh, very expensive, nowhere to park for campervans. So Ted and I are heading back to a place we know called the Vienne, I think, which is much more of a friendly beach resort. And although they've got campsites, they're expensive, so we found a spot to overnight in a relatively nice car park. But this is pretty down here. Where are we, Teds? French France. Good morning, Vanners. So another day, another quick update. Teds and I have left the Vienne. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right. And we're heading south. The itinerary is to pick up Archie tomorrow from La Rochelle Airport. Really nothing else to do before then, so we're going to try and find a nice beach for Teddy to have a run around on, because the one at Vienne didn't allow dogs. But look, we're about to cross another big bridge. Another day, another bridge. And it's the one over the Loire this time, at the mouth of the Loire. And it looks pretty spectacular. I'm not quite sure what the toll's going to be, but let's check it out. Sorry about the state of the windscreen. Another day of smashing bugs into the glass. It's a hive of industry around here. I mean, it's not a very pretty coastline. We're going to go past all this. They're building a massive ship over there. And there's a huge car plant here. Building or decommissioning? See the one behind that, the blue one. The mouth of the Loire here is absolutely enormous. I'll have to read up my stats and do some crossover. But over, just can't believe the size of the river. Right, where are we, Teds? We're at the beach. Yeah. And just had a spot of lunch. Teddy's finally eaten a decent meal rather than just scrounging off me. Had some very tasty fish last night, didn't you, Teds? And we are about halfway between where we were last night and where we need to be tomorrow to pick up Archie, which is La Rochelle. This is just a stretch of beach away from towns, and picked because I thought they'd allow dogs on the beach. They don't at this entrance here at their car park, so we had to walk through the dunes, which is fine. There's a nice sandy path which Ted's was already loving before we could cut through to the beach without signs, and then we just did a big loop back round, and Teddy had a good chase of the ball. But yeah, we had a nice night last night. It was a bit weird. It wouldn't have been ideal travelling with other people. We were in a station car park, very quiet local station, but only a few hundred metres away from the camper air where I've stayed at before, I think in 2010, before Lola was born, and it was new then, and I'm fairly sure we didn't pay, but it is just a line of campers around a curved side of the estuary, which was fine, peaceful for the night. But I checked online, you have to book in advance, and it was 50 quid for a first time user. You get a £5 card, which means you get discounts elsewhere on your first visit. But given that a few hundred metres away I could park for free, I chose that option. And actually we only returned there when we got knackered after strolling through the very pretty town, Poulignan. And yeah, nice to be back there, and I'd like to go back again. I'd like to take the family. So I'd recommend it. There are campsites there. There is only that one expensive motorhome air, but it's a very pretty little harbour town. It's like the Set of the North or the Weymouth of the South. But beautiful sandy beach. Sat in a bar on the beach with my feet in the sand, Teddy in the shade, sipping a cool pression. That was great. And then we walked back into the town in the evening and had another beer, and then a very nice meal at a harbourside restaurant. So it was great. I'm looking forward to doing it again. The drive around here has been a bit boring. We came up winding single track road, so that took a lot longer than I thought. But now we're here. We're going to go to the end of the bay, drive to the end of the bay and have a look at the little town here. Don't think there'll be much to keep us. We'll then probably head inland to the nearest free air park for night, because why not? If I can stay for free nearby, I don't need to be on the coast, particularly as it's grey. And then tomorrow probably head in early to La Rochelle. I think that's how I'm feeling at the moment. It's either going to La Rochelle or drive over the bridge onto the Ile de Ré. Maybe I'll do that actually. I hadn't considered that. It's expensive because there's a toll for the bridge, but then I think the air or the motorhome parking for the centre of La Rochelle was also relatively expensive. So it just depends whether I want to do city or not. I nearly went to Nantes today, but I'm very glad I didn't, because it would have been just a headache sitting in queues. We've done enough of that anyway. And then I need to be at La Rochelle Airport at 4 tomorrow afternoon, as long as there are no flight delays. There's been some sort of international cyber security update issue, which means computer systems are down across the world, amazingly. So I'm hoping that doesn't knock on to Archie's flight being delayed. But I mean, I was going to say it doesn't matter. It would be a shame if it was, because we've got a really nice campsite booked tomorrow night on his first night of his holiday. And then on the Monday we're just going to drive to the house in Charroux. So that's the update from us. I think I'm going to sit here a bit longer with my feet up, have an Orangina, let Ted's chill out for a bit. We might go back to the beach for another quick run before heading south. Cheers! So a bit of a change of plans. It's Sunday and I'm driving due east from La Rochelle, and I'm without Archie because due to the cyber security updates his flight was cancelled. So he was at the airport, he was at Gatwick, and I was at La Rochelle when the news came through. So Teddy and I had a lovely few hours walking around La Rochelle and killing time, having a beer and a light lunch. It was a bit of a wasted it wasn't wasted, but you know, the reason I was there was to pick up Archie. He's now not coming. He couldn't get another flight out until Thursday, which is ridiculous. But obviously there's nothing anyone can do about it. So Teddy and I are on our own again until then. Well, until Wednesday when the girls get out. We are, instead of going to our campsite, which is just south of La Rochelle, one I've not been to before, it's going to be a treat for Archie. We're going to have a slap-up dinner and hopefully a swim and a few beers together, all that kind of stuff. I've just said goodbye to my deposit and we're going straight to the French house, which I'm fine about. Just getting my head around being disappointed by not having Archie with me. So, yeah. Had a very disrupted night last night. Found a free park up near a village, or in a village called Charroux, Girouad, something like that. I'll look it up. Tiny little place with a sort of dilapidated castle on a hill, lovely trail to walk around, and a free camper air. So I was there with about 5 other vans, I think. But lo and behold, their new cultural centre, which it looked like it just opened, was having a party. So cars were pulling up in the car park next to us. I ended up moving because I know what French parties are like. And I didn't want to be nearer the cars when they pulled up in the middle of the night and drove off. So I moved to the other end of the air, and sure enough, I fell asleep about 11:30. I slept till 2:30, and then I was woken up by the sound of loud music, disco or something, screaming kids, and that kept me awake till 3. And actually they did turn the music down before 3 and it finished at 3, but you know, when you're half asleep you're kind of thinking, is that music? And it's just keeping you awake. Is that kid screaming? Keeping you awake. And then it started raining, and I kept thinking, I thought that was nice, helped me fall asleep. And then I kept thinking, is it rain? Is that rain again? So I kept waking up, and in the end, I don't know what time the cars left, but they, of course, wheels spinned away in the car park, which was just ridiculous. So a very broken night, had a lie-in as a result. Didn't quite know where I was in the morning, but we had that lovely walk, so that was pleasant. And then the drive to La Rochelle was really boring, at least initially. La Rochelle I love. Very happy to go back there again, bought some souvenirs for the girls. And I'm very happy to be heading to the French house, because I know there's work to do. I'm doing the last changeover, as it were. We have paying guests right up until Friday. And I know the pool's going to need some work. I need to buy a new pool vacuum tomorrow. So yeah, it's a bit of a change of plans. Teddy's a bit sad, I'm a bit sad. But we're still in France, still on holiday, still enjoying it. We've got one more day off before work, and then the girls are out on Wednesday. So yeah, it'll be over in a flash anyway. But it's a change of plan, disappointing. And where's the sun? Hey ho. Favourite stretch of road, this, because of those lovely trees. What a shame about the weather though. Really are huge. It's probably not easy to work out the scale. We've remembered everything. Bye bye patio.